Ever heard of a heist so perfect, so audacious, that $500 million worth of art vanished without a trace, and decades later, the world's best investigators are still scratching their heads? This isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is the real-life story of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, the single largest property theft in history. Fasten your seatbelts, because we're about to dive into a mystery that has baffled experts for over 30 years. It all began in the early morning hours of March 18, 1990, in Boston. The city was still buzzing from St. Patrick's Day celebrations. At 1:24 a.m., two men dressed as police officers approached the side entrance of the elegant Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They buzzed the security desk, claiming they were responding to a report of a disturbance. Inside, the night watchman, a 23-year-old musician named Rick Abbott, made a fateful decision. Against all protocol, he buzzed them in. This was the first in a series of mistakes that would lead to an unprecedented art crime. Once inside, the fake cops quickly revealed their true intentions. They told Abbott there was a warrant out for his arrest and ordered him to step away from the security desk, effectively cutting him off from the only panic button. They then lured the second guard down, and within minutes, both guards were overpowered, handcuffed, and led down to the museum's basement. They were bound with duct tape and left in separate, dark corners. The thieves' chilling words to them were, "Don't tell anyone about this, and you'll be fine. We'll be back in a year to give you a reward." The guards would remain tied up for the next 7 hours, completely unaware of the plunder happening just a few floors above them. With the guards neutralized and the museum to themselves, the thieves had a window of 81 minutes. Now, this is where the story gets even stranger. You'd think professional art thieves would be swift and efficient, right? Well, these guys were anything but. They didn't seem to have a clear plan. Instead of targeting the most valuable pieces in the museum, like Titian's The Rape of Europa, which was worth hundreds of millions alone, they seemed to wander aimlessly. They spent a significant amount of time in the museum's Dutch room. There, they crudely cut two of Rembrandt's masterpieces from their frames, his only seascape, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, and A Lady and Gentleman in Black. They also took a Vermeer, The Concert, one of only about 34 of his known works in the world. The violence of their method slicing the canvases from their stretchers horrified the art world. It was a clear sign these were not art connoisseurs. But their choices were bizarre. They also stole a small Rembrandt self-portrait etching, about the size of a postage stamp. Then they took a relatively worthless Chinese bronze beaker, or gu. In another room, they ripped a Napoleonic eagle finial off the top of a French Imperial Guards flag. They even tried to unscrew a large Napoleonic banner from the wall but gave up and left it. They completely ignored masterpieces by Raphael, Botticelli, and Michelangelo that were just feet away. They spent minutes trying to remove the tape that held the motion detector data, eventually just taking the entire cassette. It was a mix of incredible prizes and bafflingly insignificant items. In total, 13 pieces were stolen. The haul included the 3 masterpieces by Rembrandt and Vermeer, 5 drawings by Degas, a Manet painting, the Chinese beaker, and the eagle finial. The combined value, an estimated $500 million. By 3 a.m., the thieves had vanished, leaving behind a scene of desecration. Empty frames now hung on the walls of the Dutch room, a haunting reminder of the loss. When the morning shift arrived hours later, they found the museum eerily quiet. It was until they discovered the bound guards in the basement that the full scope of the catastrophe was realized. The largest art heist in modern history was now a reality. The investigation kicked off immediately, led by the FBI. You'd think with so many clues the thieves' strange selections, their 81 minutes inside, their unhurried pace that a breakthrough would be imminent. But you'd be wrong. The case quickly turned into a labyrinth of dead ends, theories, and colorful characters straight out of a gangster film. Was it the Boston mob? A rogue collector? Every lead was pursued, but none led to the art. One of the main theories pointed to a local crime syndicate led by a notorious art thief named Miles Connor Jr. Connor himself was in jail at the time of the heist. but many believe he orchestrated it from behind bars, hoping to use the art as a bargaining chip for his release. He's always denied it, but has claimed he knows where the art is. Another promising lead involved a Boston gangster named Robert "Bobby" Donati. Sources claim Donati was involved and had planned to return the art after a gang war cooled down. Tragically, he was murdered a year after the heist, and any knowledge he had was buried with him. The trail went cold again. The FBI even searched the home of an aging mobster, Robert Gentile, multiple times, acting on a tip that the art was in his possession. They found a secret ditch under a false floor in his shed, but it was empty. They did, however, find a list of the stolen Gardner artworks with their estimated black market values. Gentile claimed he was framed and knew nothing. Years turned into decades. The Gardner Museum, honoring the very specific will of its founder, Isabella Stewart Gardner, made a powerful statement. She had stipulated that if anything in her collection was ever permanently moved, the entire museum and its contents were to be sold off. To honor her vision and to hold a place for the stolen works, the museum has left empty frames hanging on the walls. They serve as ghostly placeholders, a perpetual symbol of hope that one day, the masterpieces will come home. It's a poignant and powerful sight when you visit the museum today. The museum and federal authorities have never given up. There is a standing $10 million reward for any information leading directly to the recovery of all 13 works in good condition. That's the largest private reward ever offered for stolen property. Crucially, the statute of limitations for the theft has long since expired, meaning whoever has the art can't be prosecuted for stealing it. The authorities have made it clear, they just want the art back. No questions asked. So, where is the art? This is the $500 million question. Some experts believe the pieces were destroyed shortly after the theft, perhaps because they were too hot to sell on the black market. Others believe they are hidden away in the private collection of an anonymous, ultra-wealthy individual. Could they be sitting in a vault in Switzerland? Or maybe they were separated and are scattered across the globe. In 2013, the FBI announced they were confident they knew the identities of the thieves, confirming they were part of a criminal organization based in the Mid-Atlantic and New England. However, both suspects had already passed away. Knowing who took them is one thing. Knowing where the art is another challenge entirely. The story of the Isabella Stewart Gardner heist is more than just a tale of stolen property. It's a profound cultural tragedy. These weren't just paintings, they were irreplaceable pieces of human history and creativity. The Storm on the Sea of Galilee was Rembrandt's only seascape, a dramatic and emotional depiction of a biblical scene. Vermeer's The Concert was a quiet, intimate masterpiece, showcasing his genius for capturing light and domestic life. Their absence leaves a permanent hole in the art world. The empty frames at the Gardner Museum are not just a memorial. They are a challenge, a plea, and a symbol of enduring hope that this great mystery will one day be solved. What do you think happened? Did the mob bungle the job? Is a reclusive billionaire staring at a Vermeer in a secret bunker? Or was the art destroyed long ago? The theories are endless, and the truth remains just out of reach. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world's greatest unsolved art heist. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into incredible mysteries, and ring that notification bell. Let me know your theories in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.